An interesting one. Could you talk to me about One Last Dance? All to you and me.
I'll need you to fill me in on the gaps here. How long after the Addiction taping was One Last Dance?
So we filmed Addiction in February 2010. We filmed One Last Dance in March 2011. It's about
So it was over a year, yeah.
Yeah.
The concept of it was that we were going to have a final show because UBW never got a send off. The last free preview was Addiction, and then it kind of went nowhere. Everyone sort of decided they were going to go do their own thing, and they didn't want to do it anymore. From what I remember, but you, me, and a couple of others decided that we wanted to do like not a reunion show because it had only been a year, but we wanted to give closure to UBW. And I remember, we were deciding what we were going to do and stuff, and it was going to be you against me in the main event. Yeah. And that for me, because we were going to basically correct right all the wrongs that we had from our previous matches. I remember turning up there on the day. We had the storyline was that you had hurt your leg or your ankle or something, and you were this was going to be the time when you took the title back from me. By this point, I was heel. That's pretty much all I remember.
Really? Gosh.
Yeah, I can talk about our match, but you are probably better to talk about the day in general. And then when we come to our match, I'll fill in.
So we filmed Addiction, and then shit went down with me and P, and UBW broke down.
Can you just give a little bit of detail as to what happened?
I just think me and Pete at the time were polar opposites, and I think I hated the Union Jack character and where that was going. Every booking decision that I had in mind was rejected.
What was your vision at that point?
Swin man.
Yeah.
My storyline with Swin was make Swin by the champion.
It was going to be Swin versus Johnny eventually.
Prove it. So yeah. Johnny gets belt there. I was going to take a back seat. But yeah, me and Pete were such polar opposites that we just couldn't get along. And when Dave told us at the Addiction taping, I don't want to do this anymore, I was just like, absolutely not interested. And at the end of the day, without sounding big-headed, but I used to take Max to the shows in my car, and I would take yourself to the shows. So it's one of those, look, if I'm not going, we lose Max and Dan as well, because they're not going to go on their own. So yeah, but the guys, some of the guys, they tried to do a taping of Salvation. Because we taped Ace versus Dave for Salvation, they tried to tape Salvation.
Salvation never aired, did it?
Salvation 2010 never had no. So there's a out there on. I'll show you the highlights for you.
What it seemed like, if you watch Addiction, if you chronologically look at UBW, it seemed like Addiction was the end. It was the last thing you see at Addiction. It was me giving Dave the FU onto you, and that's it. Yep. It's done. I walk away with the belt, and that's it.
Yeah, so there was another recoil. It was recoil 16, which I only realised recently. I had recoils 1 through 15 on my hard drive, and I thought 15 was the last one. Turns out I'm wrong about that one, because I went onto my Daily Motion account. I was like, hang on a sec, what the fuck is recoil 16? Uploaded 10 years ago. Like, well, hang on. Okay, so there's an extra recall that none of us are on, but I do commentary on there's one match on it, and I do commentary on it. And I go, okay, so what happened there?
For those kids of you who don't know, Daily Motion is a site like YouTube. It's
it's not quite as good, but
it's a bit more lenient with its content.
And then the guys they met up to do their part of the Salvation taping, and so what you'll see on the screen right now is a 3-way went down, which is it's only the highlights package exists for it, and then it was going to be they tape that, and then we were going to splice in the Danny versus Dave match, and then that was it. There's no more. Throughout the summer of 2010, myself and Max Carnage decided we wanted to just have a match just for our own entertainment, and it was getting in touch with Dan and just go, hey, do you want to be the guest referee?
For reasons.
Well, it was that because I was going to go into the match as a heel and Danny was a heel. Like if Danny's the heel referee,
but it wasn't any storyline advancement on that in terms of UBW.
No, not in UBW.
I was still the champion, but
you were still the champion. But it was just from a narrative point of view. It's that how can Carnage win this match? So,
but why was that match happening?
So we decided, right. So Max had two stepsons with his partner at the time, and so they'd heard these stories of Max wrestling, but there's no, they never got to see him wrestle. So it's how we put on a match just for our entertainment, if nothing else, in their back garden, and these two kids can watch the match.
Because I remember vaguely on the day, Max saying to the kids, "You're not allowed to watch this. You have to go inside."
Yeah, they watched it from the bedroom window.
From the bedroom window. Yeah.
So we did this one match, me versus Max, and with Dan as guest referee. And then here's the thing, I wasn't interested at this point. I wasn't interested in meet whatsoever. It came up every so often. I tried to meet up, and then one night I got really, really, really drunk, and so it was like 2 a.m, something like that. And I put on Facebook, I tagged everyone who was UBW wrestlers, saying, like, guys, I've got 2 words for you. I'm in. But what I meant was,
I remember that.
But I meant I will film, I'll referee, I'll do something. I am not fucking wrestling. And I think it's indicative.
You're not facing me.
Indicative of what my mindset was at the time.
But you and me always had that, I don't know if Achilles heel is the right thing. What's the word when you got when you got something and you want to get rid of it, you want to write it. It's a wrong that you want to write. What's the terminology for that?
I don't know.
We always had that because we never had the match that we wanted to have.
It was that itch to scratch.
Yeah. It was like
we could put on something really.
And I remember nagging you about that.
Oh mate, you talked every chance we got. So we're gonna have this match. Like, no, I'm not interested. I'll referee
for
your
months.
match.
This is months on end.
What I was going to say then is that it's indicative of how it went down. Is that one day you dangled I'll drop the championship to you.
That's it.
And I was like, oh yeah, well that changes everything.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I want my fucking belt back.
Yeah, because it was with me for months.
Come on. So looking back at it now, it's like, dude, that's what it fucking took, really. So yeah, it was arranged that we would meet up in Preston at the old stomping ground, but Max Carnage point blank refused. Crusher J obviously turned pro by that point.
Dave wasn't there either.
Refused. Extreme Dave point blank refused. Yeah. Swimbad point blank refused. Half the roster wasn't there.
What was the card?
So the card for One Last Dance starts off with a 3-way match, which is interesting in itself because it's Johnny Magnum versus Alex Hart versus the returning Liam Styles. Liam Styles had a match because Hannah came to the show.
Yeah, she was there.
They were an item by that point.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, I'm guessing that Hannah wanted to see her.
Because she was a fan.
Yeah, she was our fan. She was a reviewer. She all good. So I'm guessing that she wanted to see UBW in person.
Yeah.
So Hannah came to that show. 3-way match opens the show. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very short. It lasts 8 minutes from bell to bell, and you go, okay, that's interesting. But they packed a lot of action into it, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I remember the first thing you hear on commentary is, "So Arthur hates it. Have you ever been so excited about something that you can't sleep because you're so excited about it? This is what I'm feeling about this one." And Alex Hart did all the editing of that one, so it just looks so much slicker than the old UBW shows did, and it's all filmed in widescreen. He did new entrance videos for everyone that looked really smart. He even found a remix of Womanizer to use instead of the standard one, which is just really smart. And then the second match of the show is so by this point Ryan is training at Future Shock, so he can't be K-Bar, so he wrestles as Evil Guru Boy.
That's it.
Versus Mr. Insano. And they have again another match that's not very long but is enjoyable.
There were no stipulation matches on that show.
No, there wasn't. No, it was just this is the card. That's not. And then so they had an enjoyable little match. Like I say, it's Evil Guru Boy, and Guru Boy is all about the Illuminati. in that one. I don't remember where that had come from, but
See, my idea for that show, which again I don't know if I told you, was that the first thing on it, and you know I hate battle royals. You know I can't stand them, but it should have been everybody but me having a battle royal, and the winner gets the title shot.
How do you do a battle royal in backyard wrestling?
Pinfall elimination.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So I was going to say.
So it's like a gauntlet.
So it's not over the top rope.
No, it could have been. No, it's over the top. Yeah. No, you could have done like a gauntlet, and you basically champagne comes in last.
Yeah.
Right. And like Johnny starts first, right, and goes through everyone, and everyone thinks this is it. Johnny's going to get the title, and then you come in the end of the gauntlet and beat him, and you get the title shot, just to add a bit more,
Yeah.
to it. But
so I made 2 build-up packages for our match, which is interesting. But in between the 3-way and Google Boy versus Insano, which is an angle where I was cutting a promo and you attacked me until I'd had my ankle.
yeah,
So that's where the limp comes from. And it's interesting, so I make my entrance and the crowd cheers and I go, and you actually see Marc and I go, oh bloody hell, I wasn't expecting that, because I'm champagne and everyone hates me.
exactly. But you were the face.
Yeah, so I was facing that one.
One thing that bothers me about that build-up package, because you mentioned it, is that if you watch it, there's the last thing you see in the build-up package. I need a hobby, but the last thing you see in the build-up package is it says one last dance. I would have loved it if you because you were doing all this scripture about you and me and our feud and everything. If it had been one last time and then the time fades out, match fades out, dance.
That would have been cool.
And that's it.
10 years removed.
Yeah, of course.
9 years removed.
But the match, I mean, to be honest, the triple threat and Pete's match with Ryan, I thought were both very good.
Yeah,
they're good.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Because I think
they're just, literally, it's nitpicking here. Both of them are too short.
well compared to ours, yeah, but
They needed, both of them needed to be longer.
because we planned, a few spots, but we'll get to our match in a minute. But the those 2 matches I thought were good. I think it could have been used in any UBW free preview, and it could have worked.
Yeah.
If we had done that show in 2009, it would have been perfectly acceptable.
Absolutely.
I don't think there was anything wrong
It
with
would have
anything
been
on
odd
it.
enough, of course, because there would have been no Dave, no Swim.
Well, of course, they do triple threat match. but
book it, Dano.
book it. But no, by the time again, it's another watchable show because it's not too long, and all the matches.
No, it's about an hour.
Yeah.
And our match goes 25 minutes.
Exactly, and all the matches are watchable. When you get to our match, we were trying to right all the wrongs that we had beforehand, and there were no stipulations on it. It was just the titles on the line. This is it. But we did all the spots that we wanted to. Talk about coming up with the spots. Talk about the mouthwash, and talk about the hill. Talk about the tent.
Right. So first things what I need to say is that we're talking about how we wanted to right the wrongs. So what I said is we managed to come up with a load of spots. They are all brutal, and it's all quite a few of them are what didn't we do in when UBW was going. But what I said is to counteract that, can the first maybe 10 minutes just be technical wrestling, because people are going to want the thing about the last time that Ace versus Pain happened on free per view, it was a Retribution. It was the I Quit match. And it was very brutal. So how about, people are expecting it's brutal, but how about we do it so we're technical wrestling instead? So we do a bit of technical wrestling, and I do my arm sharpshooter. That was one of those. Look at the fucking state of that, and it's almost like Ace goes, okay, that's enough of that. After about 5 minutes, Ace goes, just that's enough of that. 18 straight minutes of him beating me up.
I mean, if you want to really talk about that, you could go back to you and Max. And the beatdown. I mean, the basic idea was that we need to get to one more match, you against me, and that started with you and Max, because it was the bit afterwards where it was me battering you.
And it's funny because in that match, the one with me and Carnage, is that we'd said Ace was going to beat me up for a bit after the bell had gone.
A bit is a few minutes.
Well, yeah. So what you see is that Dan does a move to me, and then Payne sells it like he's dead, because I don't know when the camera's going to stop rolling, and it just never ends. It's like, come on, man. But yeah, so I wanted to do some spots that either I'd seen and I wanted to copy, or we just like, okay, this will be fun. So the one where Dan rolls me down the hill, for example, just was like, that might make people laugh. Comedy.
Crashes through 2 bushes and into
the crowd sells it like it's like really good, so I love that bit. I'd watched, and I know that you would watch this one as well, I'd watched the Colt Cabana versus Homicide match from Ring of Honor.
The no DQ one.
And it's the one where Homicide pours Drano
that's it.
into Colt Cabana's mouth. And I remember watching that one time, just going, that's this one of those times, I can't watch that, that's too much. But then one day, I'm cleaning my bathroom at home, and I used some bathroom cleaner in a little squirty bottle. I remember just stopping us, going, just staring at this ball, going, but it's blue. And I was like, you tip that away, you fill it with water, put some blue fluid colouring in, you've got bathroom cleaner. I'm just looking.
I mean, it goes back to the Jack Daniels thing.
You just said mouthwash. You are way.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of blue liquid, but you think
it's
Jack Daniels thing.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
wrestling. Me and you have talked about this so many times. Backyard wrestling in America, especially, seems to be let's try and fucking hurt each other. Whereas my version of backyard wrestling will always be, what can we do that looks great but doesn't hurt? And it was one of those moments where it's like, this is all in the cell. If you pour this bathroom cleaner into my mouth, I could sell it as, hang on, it's just water, fuck it. Or I could sell it as, I don't want to fucking swallow this, I don't want to fucking swallow it. So you see how I'm fucking spewing it out of my mouth because I don't want to fucking... Here's the thing, I bet you've forgotten this one. Do you remember? You squirted into the ref's eyes first.
But I went, yeah, if you watch it and you watch it on your screen, just watch quickly the next 5 seconds.
What the hell has Ace got?
You hear, that's me saying it. I don't actually squirt anything at him.
And
no, he sold it.
Oh,
the ref sold it. He sold it. I just put it up to his face.
So you spray it in his eyes, and then you pour it into my mouth. Yeah. Of course, on commentary, I'm selling it like it's evil. So I think about it. I'm covered in that, and then we thought, let's do something that we did in the Me versus Carnage match.
By the end of that match, you were red, white, and blue.
Yeah, because you threw powder at me, and we did fake blood in, and so then we were like, what if we do...
Do you remember you used uncensored 99 videotape on my head?
I do.
That split me open.
Well, I was going to say, before we got to that, we've got to do the FU onto the tax. Because we never did that.
But that came back to the redemption.
The addiction match.
Yeah.
Because that was meant to be the finish.
Yep.
So let's do that. And the way that I turn the tide is by hitting you with a fucking WCW videotape. And I hit you so hard that the box breaks. There is a lovely throwback to the addiction match where you hit me with the wet floor sign. That breaks.
But there is a story behind the WCW videotape. You and Dave came and visited me at mine. And this was years ago. I mean, we're talking 2000 and, 9?
2010.
Something like that. And I still had the original copy. To this day, I still do, don't ask me why, of Starcade 99. And I just, for reasons, brought it out and put it in the living room. And you've got this footage somewhere, so it helps if you upload this one bit.
Okay.
Dave gives me a stump fucker onto the video and the cassette tape breaks. Mm-hmm. And we never used it in a spot. We were like, use WCW videotape. No, I don't care. It's like, just use it.
Yeah.
Freak.
Sorry.
Woo! Stalker! And it's gone right onto the Starcade bin. Oh, come on!
This is so miserable.
Where's the beer?
Yep,
the big beer.
Sorry, dude.
With the questionnaire.
You can sell the questionnaire.
Hang on, isn't that the show that you said Dave would have?
Yes, I did, but he brought the video case, so he gets the broken video case.
That was probably going to be worth potentially hundreds of dollars one day.
Ow!
My pride and joy.
Yeah,
but the two spots that come to mind in that, the last minute of that match I absolutely love.
So if you had refused to lose to a pain game, like with Carnage before we talked about, you wanted 3 pain games. But to your credit, unlike with the Carnage,
I took them on 3 different.
Yeah, I was going to say each one. So in the match at Vendetta, the 2 are standard ones, and the third one, the killer one, I do it on a tray. Ooh. So in the One Last Dance one, the first one's a standard one, and then the second one is onto the tax, which, but again, throw back to the addiction match, because we've done that one. And then as I go to do the third one, thinking like, what happens to me?
And this wasn't planned.
No,
I didn't tell you. I said I'm going to call something, and you have to sell it.
Yeah, that's what I was. That was the night before.
Yeah,
you told me
the night before, and you're thinking, oh God, what are you going to do? And the whole day you were asking me like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
It's on your screen right now, folks. This is what he did to me. Yeah, he did Mr. Socker on me with a used sock. Not a clean one, a used sock, and I had to fucking sell it.
I found the sock in my gym, and it was there. And I was looking. It was just normal, gym trip for me one day, and I was looking at, and I found this sock in the dressing room, and I was thinking to myself, that could be fun. And it's just, and for a spot, because we had the match booked by this point, and I was just thinking, I'm not going to tell him about this, but he's going to have to sell it, and if I'm dropping the title to him, it's just because you could use the Xbox, bang.
What's the thing? I think that I recovered it in such a way that I sort of looked down. There's the Xbox. We're doing the pain game on the Xbox.
Yeah, but I lost the UBW title wearing Mr. Soccer.
And so the pain game onto the Xbox was a throwback to the first BBW show because I beat Mr. Insano.
Because you told me you wanted it to be full circle.
Yeah. So I never thought I'd wrestle again after that. So I thought if we do where, like I say, I beat Mr. Insano on the first Prove It with a pain game onto an Xbox. I just thought if we do it like that, so I had to buy a Mark 1 Xbox, and fucking those things weigh a fucking ton. So I had to, so we do that, and 1, 2, 3 onto that. There's a fucking superb photo on your screen right now of me and you, which is like we're doing, you're doing that. And so like you just said, I'm soaking wet from all the bathroom cleaner. I'm white because of the powder, and I'm red, and I'm just looking going, look at this! Look at the fucking state of us!
Yeah, there were a couple of comical botches in that match. The first one is I put the ankle, I throw you into the tent,
yes, you did.
And I put the ankle lock on the wrong leg.
So I'm in the tent, I'm saying,
screaming, you're trying to sell it.
I'm trying to tell wrong ankle, and so you swap ankles, and how the fuck do you call it? On commentary, I can't remember what I said right now, but it's one of those, he's changed his ankle. What else was a botch?
The ladder.
Oh god, yeah, we had a ladder as well, didn't
because
we?
I ripped you for months.
You did.
The top.
You've done it on these episodes.
I mean, I won't go into that, but you were always saying, I wish something would happen to you.
Yeah. So you kicked me, spin round into the fucking ladder. Superb. What a moment.
Yeah, and that was that. But One Last Dance in its entirety, when you look at it from a show, like I said, you could put it in the peak of UBW and it would have held its own. I think you can't talk badly about One Last Dance because the people that were there, the people who made the effort to be there, really gave it their all that day. And every match, again, watchable. It's one of the most underrated UBW shows because it's kind of forgotten about because people who aren't on it.
Well, this is the thing. What I was going to say is, do you think that it's underrated or forgotten because it went onto my Daily Motion account? Because of course we didn't have YouTube by then, and Ning had gone by then.
Ning was gone, yeah.
So it went onto my Daily Motion account, and it lasted about 4 minutes before it was pulled down. So only one part of it survives, and that's the last part. It's part 4, and that's the last part of our match. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, consider yourself a lucky chappy because you're actually watching the highlights of it. Yeah. But it wasn't online for very long, so most people haven't seen it.
No. But it wasn't a bad show.
So probably by the time you're watching this, it's probably on the archive because it's one of the next ones to go online for. At the time we're recording this, it's one of the next ones to go
considering none of us, anyone who wrestled on that show, maybe Ryan, but anyone who wrestled on that show hadn't wrestled in a year.
Yeah. So I'd had the one match with Carnage. You hadn't wrestled.
Yeah.
So Alex probably been training, Magnum and Styles. Styles' his first match in ages. Yeah, we pulled something good out. It was just nice to be back with everyone. We wrestled in our original location. Yeah, I mean they cut all the trees down, so it looks weird, but we were in our original point.
The sky was a bit grey, but it was. Yeah.
That was the last time I saw.
Do you think it gave closure to UBW?
In some respects, yes. It was that because, like you said when we started doing this one, that we never had a proper send off.
Because after that show, I don't remember anybody, including you and me, saying, "Where do we go from here?" I think we all knew that was it.
This is it.
That's it.
There's never going to be anything else like this.
I mean, that was the proverbial nail in the coffin of UBW, and yeah, that was it. It was done.
Yeah, it really was. That was it was once this is done. That's it. And it was nice to see everyone. It was nice to meet Hannah in the flesh, and to be able to put on a match for her. But yeah, it was part of it is what could have been, because like I say, production values on that show was so much better than the other ones were. Yeah. But yeah, it was nice to get it done. It was sad that so many people didn't want to do it. Like I say, Dave had, a straight no, absolutely not. Carnage was meant to come, but literally the morning of the show he pulled out. So I was going to go to get him and then take him to the show, and he pulled out the morning of. I think Josh by the time at that point wasn't having no, and I just left a straight no. But yeah, it's an entirely enjoyable watch.
It's not a bad show, and it served its purpose.
Exactly. Well said. One last time. Go watch it. It's in the description below.